Hi, this is Lisa Rangel from Chameleon Resumes, the premier executive resume writing company, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about how to executive job search in a geopolitically unstable environment. Sounds a little heavy, but you know what? I feel like this is the norm. I feel like this has been the norm for, almost 8 years, if not, some would even say 10. Some may even say longer than that, right? Depending on, what perspective you take to what's going on in the world today. And I think that until an executive can accept that that is the norm, it is going to be hard for them to job search, and it's also going to be hard for them to lead. This is really even a discussion about leadership, because a job search essentially is a business event, the same way any other business event happens when you are a leader. And if you conduct your job search the way you lead, assuming you're a good leader, then, this shouldn't be as mentally hard as it can be. But I'm going to tell you, many, many, many leaders do not take an approach to their job search the same way they govern and lead in any other role they've had. And so it is mentally harder. And that, so I don't say that statement lightly. But what I want to talk about today is, it makes me think of my mom on some level. My mom is a massive advocate of the serenity prayer. And again, whether you are religious, not religious, and then if you are religious, whatever kind of religion you subscribe to, this comes back to, I find that as things get more and more chaotic, I really focus more and more on what I can control. And I really try to identify what I can't. And that to me is very, very sound advice as an executive going through a job search and leading. Even if you're not job searching, you need to lead in this very cloudy, chaotic environment some days, right? So it comes down to what can you control and what you can't. And I find the best way to do that is a SWOT analysis, and do it for yourself, do it for your search, because ultimately controlling how you can accentuate your strengths, shore up resources and downplay your weaknesses, capitalize on opportunities and neutralize threats, until you are absolutely able to do that for yourself, it's going to be hard to search and it's going to be hard to lead, because without doing that assessment, you're not going to know where your next opportunity lies. You're not going to know who to market your strength to. You're not going to have the interview stories that downplay your weaknesses or even showcase them as a strength in certain environments, right? You have to start with the honesty of yourself when there is chaos around you, in order to know where you stand, what you stand for, and who you want to work for, and who you want to serve. That only starts with you. So I say today, take out a sheet of paper, write in the left margin, S, a few lines, W, a few lines, O, a few lines, and a T. And in that, all that right section to the left of those letters, write your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities that lie before you, the threats that exist, and face it head on, look it right in the eye, look yourself right in the eye. A foundation of a job search starts with brutal self-honesty, because then you can build upon that. You can come up with the stories that, again, promote your strengths. You can know what environments are going to make your strengths thrive. You're going to know the environments that you can avoid because they highlight your weaknesses, and who wants that, right? What economic situations, geopolitical situations, cultural situations create opportunities for you. And I say that with all, ethical standing. Ethical opportunity exists in chaos. I'm not talking about capitalizing on catastrophe in a bad way, in any way, shape, or form. But, people need help during chaotic times. How can you be that light? How can you be that, beacon of a resource for somebody? You know, this is how I try to tackle chaos. And I may sound and look all composed right now, but some days I don't look so good, and I'm not so composed. My family and my team can tell you that. So, you know, let yourself feel what you feel. Come back to do this list. You know, go back to feeling feelings again, and come back to the list. And it's, I think, just a constant ebb and flow of, you know, logic and intelligence and resilience, and then you got to let yourself fall apart some days, and then you go back to the logic and the intelligence and the resilience, and then you got to let yourself fall apart some days and let your people support you, and then you do it for others. You know, I'm kind of, this isn't necessarily a linear video, but focus on what you can control and do that as best you can, and then you just have to trust the universe is going to take care of you and us, and things happen the way they happen. And I'm not going to give you any happy platitudes, because they sometimes don't always work out, at least in a short term, right? But they do work out the way they're going to work out in the long term. And, you know, we're just along for the ride. So, you know, as a constant recovering control freak, I will tell you, just control what you can control, and focus on you, and focus on being the best you. And whatever that may look like for you with regards to your career or your job search, I have 3 tiers how I can help. I can help you for free. I can help you in a DIY way, and I can help you, you know, with our team helping you one-on-one. So I'm going to put those options up on a slide. I'll put them in the description below as well, so you'll see that. But the key is just to not do it alone and get help, and focus on what you can control. And whatever you really, truly, honestly can't control, we're going to do our best to let go. And I say we, because I got to work on that too. So I hope this helped. If you know of anyone who will benefit from this video, I'm going to ask you to share it. If you know of someone, if you like the video, I'm going to ask you to like it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to email me or message me or DM me. I do my best to read and reply to every, you know, DM, LinkedIn message, comments, and email. You can email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com, and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss next week's video. But most importantly, take care of you and help someone else. So have a great day. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.